Hello, good morning. This is Sandeep sir here. I hope you are safe and healthy. Now, in the last class, I taught commerce. The topic was business environment. Now, in the last class, we have discussed what is business environment. Then we discussed the various dimensions, various elements of business environment. That is macro environment, micro environment, and I told that micro environment consists of internal environment as well as specific forces in the external environment. And then I also said uh, the various components of macro environment, that is social environment, legal environment, economic environment, political environment, and technological environment. And of the components of macro environment, I have discussed with you technological environment. Today we are going to start with the social environment. Social environment of the business includes the customs, the culture, the tradition that have lasted so many years, the values the society holds in high esteem, the expectations of the society from the business. So the business have some responsibilities towards the society also, and the society also has some expectations from the business. Social trends. So these are about the social environment. This constitutes the social environment. So business has to meet the expectations of the society. There are some society. There are some, the demand. There are some issues which societies demand, like the the same basis of wage payment for male and female workers. We Whenever we engage workers, male or female, there is no discrimination on the basis of sex, male or female. So the wages are paid on the same basis. Likewise, demand, there are reservation in any job. There is a percentage of the job is reserved for minorities, for handicapped, those who are physically challenged, physically disabled, economically weaker sections. The reservations are also for in jobs are also kept for women. So these are the expectations of the society, and accordingly, when business will function, the business has to take care of the expectations, take care of the basic, you know, demand, uh, and that's why there are reservation in jobs, and then the no discrimination on the basis of wage payment or salaries payment. These are taken care of. Now, in the any changes in the social environment is going to affect the demand of the product, is going to affect the demand of the product, and the capital requirement will also be affected. That means like more capital may be required sometimes to cope up with the changes. Now, if the business enterprise fails to adapt to the changes, now so there are changes taking place in the social environment, and if the business fails to adapt, that means adjust or respond to the changes, then its survival becomes difficult. So business have to take care of the various needs of the society. Now, whatever I've said, that can be illustrated through several examples. Now, you know that when in festive occasions, like say Diwali, Eid is coming in the month of May. Eid is coming. Then Christmas, New Year, birthdays, or any, I mean, say, or so many days we have now, isn't it? Valentine's Day, birthday, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Teacher's Day, Children's Day. Many days are there. So what we do, we need to celebrate these occasions. Now these celebration of these occasions provides lot of financial opportunities for different type of business enterprises. Now, say greeting card companies will make cards, greeting cards. Now they make e-cards. Earlier, they made the greeting card paper cards. That time the e-card was not so popular. So that time there were companies, Archie's, Paper Rose. They used to, there was huge demand for greeting cards. Uh, Now, in any celebration, any occasion, the demand for sweets, that means the manufacturer of sweets and confectioners. Then for celebrating the occasion, we buy garments. So the dealer of garments, then the tailor, tailoring outlets. So these businesses will get enough opportunities uh, to cater to the requirements of the society. So now this social trends, now the society, now this social trends, that means in the society, in the social environment, sometimes trend also takes place. That means it shows a trend, a change also takes place, and because of this trend, some businesses, they will get plenty of opportunities. At the same time, few businesses may be facing threats. Now, let me elaborate on this. That means how social trends provide opportunities and threats simultaneously to different business enterprises. No, what I want to say is that few organizations, few business enterprises will be getting opportunities, and maybe the other few may face, it's not that they have to face, they may face threats. Now, for example, I'm telling you, in the present social environment, people have become health conscious. There is a fitness trend, especially among urban people. And as a result, what happened, the demand for the demand for say that you say health clubs. That means people are joining health clubs, people are joining yoga centers. So people are buying a specific they developed some specific food habits, and as a result they are buying low absorption cooking oil, they are buying products sugar free, that are sugar free. So as a result, the companies have to cater to this change and have to come up with this type of product. Now, we all know Coca-Cola, but for this health conscious people, the Coca-Cola have to make a change. They have to introduce an additional product, that is Coke Zero, Diet Coke, or Diet Pepsi. That means this Pepsi, this Coke has less sugar or no sugar. So that means they have to come up with a new product. Now, if they don't respond to this fitness trend, what will happen? People will stop buying that type of product. So the business sale will go down, and the profit would go down. And in class 11, you have studied that the importance of profit. Profit helps for survival. So if the profit goes down and down, for a prolonged period, so the business may have to close down. So this is the threat part. So therefore, you have to respond to what people want. So you have to go and respond to the trend, what the social trend. You have to go that. Now, for example, as I said, because of the fitness trend, people are joining health resorts, gym, and then yoga centers. So there more and more gyms is coming up. Now you can see that every area there are so many gym. This yoga centers and gym. So that means it provides opportunities to so many people, so many business enterprises. Uh, that's as a result of that, this health clubs, health resorts, yoga centers, gymnasium, they are growing in number. So, at the same time, the demand for spicy and oily food, the say tobacco, has decreased to a great extent. So the companies, those who are engaging in say tobacco, ITC got a major setback, because that smoking in public places is banned, and then it is against law, so it may create lot of hassles. So as a result, that means consumption of tobacco decreased, and as a result, the companies related uh, to tobacco product making, so it's a threat to them, But at the same time, some companies are getting threats for specific few products, but plenty of other business enterprises, they are getting opportunities to serve, to cater to the requirement of the society. So now, whenever we go out, as we know that water is drinking water is a is a very something, a serious issue. So whenever we go for some tour and all, we buy the packaged drinking water. We don't take the local water over there, because thinking of some contamination aspect. So we buy packaged drinking water. So demand for packaged drinking water have increased. Demand for low absorption cooking oil, sugar free products have increased. So same time, the demand for spicy and oily food, tobacco, and there is a decrease. We see a decrease in the use of this product. So this is social environment. Social environment gives opportunities to business enterprises. At the same time, social environment may cause threat to business enterprises, and business enterprises should be able to change to the changing pattern, or the changing pattern that is taking place in the social environment, as business has to take care of the various needs of the society. Now, in this chapter, under technological environment, we have seen you have to study what is technological environment, the examples, and then the major elements or the components of technological environment. So here also, just now I explained you social environment. I've given you examples. Now you have to study the major elements and components of social environment also, because the question write 5 components or elements of social environment. So whenever they specifically they write 5, 3, so better to write 1 or 2 points extra. Sometimes if it matches with the answer which the teacher has thought, then yeah, there are high chances to get full marks in the boards. So major elements or components of social environment, that what that is consumption habits. That means awareness and rights of the consumers. Then educational system and literacy rate. How so these all have these are the factors that have that can influence the social environments. People's attitude towards new product, whether they are going to accept the new product, whether they are going to use, or they want improvement in the old products only. So what is the custom, what is the tradition, what is the ritual culture, what is the lifestyle of the people. So what are consumption habits. So and also depends on the size and distribution of the population. How much of the in the population, how what percentage are older people, what percentage are teenagers, what percentage are middle aged, and like that. So these also have a bearing on the social environment. So this is also an element or component of social environment. Now there are plenty. So these are the few elements and components of social environment. Now come to the next, that is legal environment. Legal environment is very important. Legal environment, what is legal environment? Legal environment includes various legislations, various legislations which are placed and passed by the government. Now legislations means laws, and these laws are passed by the government in the parliament. If it is passed or if the initiative is taken by the central government, it has to be passed in the parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, or state legislature. So this legal environment basically consists of what? Basically consists of uh, you know that administrative orders issued by government authorities, the orders issued by court, the laws passed by in the parliament, laws passed in the state legislature, Also, sometimes the various commissions, government has set up make various commission, and these commissions give report, and their recommendations are sometimes to be followed by all. So it is, legal environment consists of these things: the laws, the orders, the recommendations made by the commissions. So it is imperative, it is clear that the business enterprises have to obey the law of the land. If they don't obey the law of the land, then they cannot properly function. And if they don't follow the law, that means non-compliance of laws, if they don't obey what the order, any order or any law or any something is recommended which you are not doing, you are not fulfilling that. So it would attract punishments and penalties as per the statutory provisions. Now, you must be knowing that in the year 2015 that there was some issue that raised that Maggie, we all know that Maggie 2-minute noodles, it was a very popular, the mostly sold noodles brand, but there was some issue raised by that it is not following the recommendations. They are not following I mean, the specifications which the government has uh, mentioned. So as a result, the product was withdrawn from the market and it was banned for some time. So that means this all took place because of something raised. Later on, it is proved that it was vague. That is something different. But legal environment, that means if some complaints come, or if the government finds that you are irregular, then it would attract punishment. It would attract penalties. Uh, so therefore, the business managers have to say adhere to these rules and regulations. They should be aware. They cannot pretend that we don't know. As you know that now every restaurant they must have FSSAI certification. Otherwise, they can't be selling food items to consumers. So we consumers at the same time, there is another chapter. In our syllabus that is called consumer protection. There we will be studying that we also have some duties. Before buying a product, we must check whether the seller is having FSSAI, FSSAI certification or not. So that means it is our responsibility also to check. So that we will be studying in altogether in a separate chapter. So, can anybody say what is the full form of FSSAI? We see in almost all foods. Not even in the restaurants, we should be looking for FSSAI certification. But in food products, in the packet, in the marketing, you'll be studying that is called labeling. So, in the packet, that is in the label of the packet, most food items you will either find that FSSAI is written. So FSSAI, the full form is Food Safety Standards Authority of India. That is the full form of FSSAI, Food Safety Standards Authority of India. So whenever it is a responsibility of the consumers, consumer means the one who uses the product. So it's a responsibility of the consumers, and definitely it's a responsibility of the business enterprises to follow whatever has been whatever laws and whatever regulations has been passed. So and the business enterprises cannot claim that they don't know of any legal provisions and all. So the manager of any business enterprise, they have to is required, rather they are required to have knowledge of of all the the laws that affect their business. So the influence of legal environment, we can be explained, that how we know, say why, what is the influence of the legal environment can be explained uh, with the help of some examples. Now, in any product, say any product, sometimes some statutory warning is written. Now, though this warning is, the business enterprises know that this warning is not to their favor, but they have to write this in the product package, in the product packet, or this this regulation has to be fulfilled. For example, say cigarettes making, smoking. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health. It's a statutory warning which all cigarette packets must carry. Similarly, advertisement. See, in the advertisement of pan masalas, or in the pan masala product, there is a statutory warning saying, and chewing of pan masala may be injurious to health, not to minors. All those things are written in the package also. So these are actually written, or in the ads it is shown. These are because of the influence of the legal environment. Business enterprises, they have to follow, uh, or have to obey the laws. Non compliance of laws will attract punishments and penalties. So as a result, they have to uh, make this or print these warnings in their packages, or they must show this in their advertisement. Tobacco causes plenty more. Tobacco causes cancer, like that. Sometimes you will find that all products, they are not same. If you buy say two uh, pen of same brand, same pen, if you buy, then two products, they are same altogether. If you buy the same commerce book, so in that case, the product is homogeneous. The content of each page would be, I mean, whatever you have, everything would be same. Everyone, if you buy the same edition, you will get totally the same thing. That is homogeneous. But if you buy sweets, if you buy two gulab jamun, if you buy two rasgulla, or can you say that two rasgullas are same in size, same in weight? You cannot say that. So as a result, government has said that for heterogeneous products, it has to be sold under a common basis. That means per kilo, per say per liter, like that. So in that case, it can't be sold individually. So that's why whenever you go in renowned shops, you will find that rasgulla 200 rupees, 300 rupees per kg. But the normal practice is that it is being sold per piece. Kaju burfi sold per piece. Actually, kaju burfi, two burfis may not be same, because these are handmade products. So it has to be sold per kg. The law says it has to be sold per kg. Now sometimes we don't understand, to make things easy, the shopkeepers sell it as per piece, but that is to the advantage of the shopkeeper, because they may make two pieces different. But if you buy per kg, in that case you are not cheated. Even if the sweets are smaller in size, if you buy per kg, you are going to get more in number. And if the likewise, if the sweets are bigger in size, so if you pay in accordance with say per kilogram, in that case you will be getting lesser. But you are not cheated, you are paying on the basis of per kg. So it's also a legal requirement. There is one law that is called the Standard of Weights and Measures Act. The Standards of Weights and Measures Act, that says that heterogeneous products cannot be sold per piece, individually per piece. Rather, they should be sold per kilogram or basis, as the two products are not identical. They may have the same taste, but the size wise, the quantity wise, both may not be the same. Now, what are the components of legal environment? That is these legislations, various laws, and you know that these laws are enacted by the government. Why? Why laws are being made? To protect us. Laws are definitely are made to protect consumers, to protect customers, to protect workers, to protect the investors. Uh, uh, I mean, to protect the greater society. So to bring discipline in the industry. So laws are uh, for our protection, for our benefit, isn't it? So business has to follow these laws, and sometimes the law language is the interpretation of law, the common people, they don't understand. So this also create the legal environment also creates job opportunities. In what way? Because the lawyers, those who study, those who pursue law course, or those who are tax consultants, they understand the law provisions better than a common people. So legal environment also creates job opportunities. Uh, it creates several professionals, and these laws are taken care of through a judicial system. We say legal institutions, and the judicial system or legal institution includes, police, includes, court, and they actually take care. They see that whether laws are properly obeyed, and they also help us getting the benefits, for benefits that one should get out of these laws. So the rights and duties of the citizen, the Indian Constitution, the what the, as per the Indian Constitution, the rights and duties as specified in the Indian Constitution. Then the laws relating to the business operation, day to day, functioning. For example, in a factory, if you have some number of workers, then you must be having a canteen. So that means some law is there to see this. Well, then if you want to expand the business, if you want to diversify for each and every issue, there are some, specific laws that has to be followed. So the legal environment, the elements or components of legal environment will be the judicial system, will be several socio-economic legislations. Legislations means, I told you, the laws, the acts which are passed. Then the rights and duties of the citizen as told in the Indian Constitution. Then the laws relating to business operation, expansion, diversification. Business must follow, be adhering to these laws totally. So we are completed, that is technological environment, social environment, legal environment is done. Now we are going to move on to the political environment. Political environment. I'm not doing this in any specific order, just random political environment. Political environment includes what? What we mean by political environment? Political environment means the political conditions, the stability, the peace in the country, and the attitude that the elected government representatives hold towards the business enterprises. So this is political environment of business. So political environment of business uh, consists of or includes the political conditions. Political conditions means the general stability and peace the country, any country is have. I mean, present condition of the country, and the attitude, the specific approach, the attitude that the elected government representative hold towards the business enterprises, because government's approach towards the business enterprises is very important. I'll give example to illustrate this. Now, whenever there is political stability, the political stability means stable government, the government is functioning full 5 years, so it increases the confidence of the businessman, because every business they need to invest money. So if there is a frequent change in the government in the center, then they are worrying, they are skeptical. I mean, now I have invested, whether the next government they are going to give us the same comfort, or they are going to come up with some new law which may uh, not benefit the business enterprises to that extent. So as you know, the business enterprises, they have to follow on the laws passed by in the parliament and in the state legislature. So that's why if there is a stable government, then the business men find confidence, and if they find confidence, they will invest more money, and if they invest more money, then it would be better for the country. So that's why the stability, the political stability is very much important. That's why when we vote, why vote is very important, because the government is elected through us and we elect the government. So if we make a wrong decision, then as a result, if the government is not sensible, and it cannot serve the country long, then in that case frequent elections, it lead to lot of money goes in it, number one. Secondly, the businessman will not get the confidence, and if they don't get the confidence, if they don't invest, then ultimately the country will be the sufferer. we won't be making proper development. So that's why the political environment of the uh, is very important. So political environment, that's why the political environment is very important. Now let us give you the example which I've said, that uh, that how political environment has an impact on the business enterprises. Now you find, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, these they are there in the market. Now you find Sony TV also, but there were a time when the government said, not to boost the Indian home industries, completely all multinational companies, they were banned. They were not allowed to sell their products in India. So accordingly, what happened? The foreign companies, they were not allowed to sell products in India. All products are whatever products the people use, they are all made in India by home industries. Now in 1991, the government, that time the Congress government was there, they made a policy change and they allowed multinationals to come in and do business in India. So that means in that case, in the plus point minus point is also there. Now when foreign new companies, the multinational companies are coming in, obviously they have the experience of better technology, the experience, as well as they have better technology, so their products are definitely better. Now we get better quality product, maybe at lower price, uh, and international standard products we can get. But sometimes, but when these multinational companies come, then the home industries, they find it difficult to compete with the reputed brands. Now we all buy, say phone, whatever phone we use, do we use local brand? There are local brand phones also, but we don't use much. They whatever they always copy. I mean, say whatever the branded companies, the renowned companies, they are. Whatever features the renowned companies they are having in their product, the local companies, they will be uh, knowing they will be arranging that technology, maybe say after in their products after say 1 year. So that's why the political environment has definitely a connection with the business enterprises. So here, if the presence of multinational companies will make the local business enterprises have in a little tough time, but it will open up opportunities for multinational companies. So political environment also has an impact on business enterprises. Now here also you have to study the elements and components of political environment, and the Indian constitution is very important. That is one of the major element of political environment. Then we have to see the political ideology. Each and every party, they have their own ideology. They have some practices. So what is the relationship the central government is having with the state governments? Then we must be noticing or we must be observing the nature and profile of political leadership. How far, to what extent they are doing right, that has to be taken care of. So these are the components of political environment. You can say that means the relation, you can also say the relationship of the center with the foreign uh, countries, with the neighboring countries. So how far or to what extent the government is interfere with the business enterprises. So that is also one of the elements of political environment. So Indian constitution, you can say the political ideology and the practices of the ruling party, the relationship of the central government with the state governments, then the profile of political leadership. Sometimes we don't see the party, we see the persons, the major important persons in that party. What they are, I mean, what is their, what they do, I mean, what is their approach towards us, whether we can trust them. So, to what extent, and what are the that means what are their values and what is their conduct. So these are very important elements of political environment. And at the same time, you can say, I told you that the government, the political environment, how far or to what extent they interfere with the business enterprises. Now, the demonetization, which you know all know that it was announced in 2016, November 8. So it was a political decision, but political decision to take off that 500 and 1000 rupee notes. So this is a political environment. As a result, we know what are the pros and cons of that is demonetization that we are aware of. So that means the person in the center or wherever the ruling party, whatever decision they take, that has an impact on the business enterprises, on everyone, to all countrymen. But we are studying about the impact of political environment to business enterprises only. Now, after political environment comes the economic environment, as because in the within the syllabus there are many uh, things to be studied under macro environment, but as far as the syllabus goes, we have to study only technological, social, legal, economic and political environment. Now, economic environment uh, of the business enterprise means the economic factors and forces in which the business operates. So this economic environment is has a is mainly regulated by Reserve Bank of India, because Reserve Bank influences the interest rates of the country and has control on the flow of money in the economy. So it also regulates the working of all commercial banks in India. So RBI is a key regulator of country's economic development. Now, economic environment consists of interest rates. Now, to make things easy, interest rates. Now, say interest rates sometimes go up, sometimes go down. Suppose a home loan interest rate goes down, then what will happen? If home loan interest rate goes down, so this will encourage people to book more apartments, book more flats in the apartment. Okay, so because the low interest rate, they will try to take advantage of the low interest rate. Similarly, if the car loan interest goes down, then what will happen? The people would be encouraged to buy new car with the borrowed money. So that means with low interest rate, that the bank can't give loans. That means if you reduce the interest rate, people would be willing to borrow money from the bank. And if people borrow money for the bank, means bank is not giving the loans free. So obviously, if more people willing to borrow money, then what will happen is the bank's earning would also increase. Similarly, if the interest rate increases, then only those who need to buy, need to book a flat, they would be coming forward, but not all. So that's why interest rate has an impact on, and you know that if the in lowering the of interest home loan rate does not only benefit bank, it benefits many, because when a flat is being constructed, you know that so many things are required in the making of the flat. So all business enterprises connected to that, everybody's business will seek a boost. So that's why simple one step lowering the home loan rate would increase, the banks would see increase in borrowings, increase in money lended to people. So their earnings would increase. Then the promoters, they will find many people demanding flats, and as a result, the construction would more constructions would take place, and all business enterprises connected to construction and connected to this, they would also see their demand increasing. And interest is one of the factors. Now, the another factor is the consumer income, the disposable income. That means whatever money the consumer is left with after after meeting the essential, So, in increasing disposable income of the consumers will lead or will increase the purchasing power. So, the more disposable income a consumer has, so the more money they can spend. So therefore, if they have more money, or automatically their demand for goods and services will increase. So this is also a factor, that is disposable income of the consumer is also one of the factors that factors in the economic environment. Inflation rates is also another factor, because inflation, you know that inflation increases the cost of production. So in that case, it puts the business enterprises, it is difficult for them, because if the cost increases, they try to minimize the cost. Because of the competition part, as far as possible they minimize the cost, and they want to maintain a reasonable profit. So if the because of the inflation, if the price increases, so they will find it difficult taking the competitor, and if they want to make profit, that particular part into consideration. So these are part of economic environment. So the elements of economic environment consists of various rates, that means interest rate, inflation rate, employment rate, tax rate, the rate of savings and investment, so the rate of growth of GDP, per capita income. Then then economic policies, what is the policy of the monetary policy, fiscal policy, foreign investment policy. So these policies uh, is also having an impact on the business. So these various rates, various policies, then the facilities when available, that is the infrastructure, industrial infrastructure, that is also that also is a factor in the economic environment. So the because these are the factor, because they will show the pace of economic growth of the country. So how the money market, capital market, these are the major elements under your economic environment. So thus we have completed the, that is the macro environment part. So now you should just a synopsis of what is a macro environment. So macro environment refers to the general environment that can affect the working of all business enterprises. That you have to keep in mind. Macro environment refers to the general environment. General means that affects all business enterprises, where the business enterprise, they have least control on this influence, that or the forces of the general environment. So it affects mainly, the basic thing is that macro environment refers to the general environment that can affect the working of all business enterprises. So, the technological environment I am talking of, that we have discussed under macro environment, that is not going to affect anyone. With the development of the technology, all business enterprises, they can take advantage of it, and they are going to benefit. So, because of the changes in social environment, it will affect many business enterprises. In a good affect many business enterprises means, I can say that the many business enterprises would be getting opportunities, and few business enterprises may be facing threats. But it is not to any specific, is going to affect a particular type, a particular class of business enterprises. So opportunities, if it is opportunities, then a particular class of all business enterprises under that class, they are going to get opportunities. If a particular business enterprise, they are facing threat, then that particular all enterprises which coming under that same type, they are going to face the threats. So if the legal environment, it is not going to affect a particular business enterprise, specifically one business enterprise. It is going to affect and the laws, the legislations which has been passed, it is for all business enterprises of that particular type. So that's why this macro environment, that affects all business enterprises. It's a general environment that can affect all business enterprises. Now we are going to discuss the micro environment, and micro environment, as I have told you, consists of two things: one, internal environment of the business, and the other one is specific factors in the external environment. Today we are going to discuss micro environment, only the internal environment. Micro environment has two parts. We are going to discuss only the internal environment. As you the picture which I have given you, that means in the picture, the orange part. So that is the internal environment. So we are going to discuss only micro environment, and we are going to discuss underneath it only the internal environment in today's class. Now micro environment refers to the internal as well as external factors, as micro environment consists of two. So internal environment as well as specific external environment. So micro environment refers to the internal as well as external factors that directly affect the working and performance of a business enterprise. That means that specific business enterprise, that is the micro environment. So that's why, as because it affects specifically a particular business enterprise, so we say it's a direct action environment. So micro environment is also called direct action environment. And likewise the macro environment can be called as micro environment is direct action environment, so macro environment is also called indirect action environment from that perspective. So we have defined micro environment. Now the internal factors. So internal factors means within any organization, you must be, it is I mean quite obvious that the organization will be having several departments. So there would be a finance department, there would be HR department which provides human resources, there would be production department. If it is a manufacturing organization, there would be production department, and after manufacturing the goods are to be sold, so there would be a marketing department, and there would be a general office also. That means where people would be coming and inquiring into, so communicate anything. So general office environment is also there. So there are several departments depending on the function. There are several departments a business enterprise must be having. Now the what are the factors? So some of the main internal factors. uh, So some of the internal factors that influence the business enterprise, we are going to discuss on that. And the number one is the corporate culture. Corporate culture means, what is culture? Culture directs the thinking and action of every member of the organization without repetitive enforcement. Something which you do, when something would not be told to you, but still you will be following that. If once when you will be able to do that, that means that is you have developed a culture. Suppose somebody is telling bad things to you, shouting at you, but you are quiet, you are listening, and then you have definitely said the issues, but you were not, you didn't become so much angry. So that means, why? The other person, he shouted at you, but still you are not doing that. It depends on how you are brought up, what culture you have acquired from your family, or what you have acquired. So that is, culture is very important. So culture directs the thinking. So likewise in family also there is a culture. In the work environment also there is a culture. So obviously we are discussing the culture, means the corporate culture. That means the culture of the organization, business organization. So culture directs the thinking and action of every member of the organization without repetitive enforcement. That means that is a part and parcel. The thing culture is totally, that is within you. So nobody is going to repeatedly make you aware to do this or do that. So culture directs the thinking and action of every member of the organization. Now, organization culture is the strongest asset any business enterprise would be looking into. And once, if you are culturally strong, then under any circumstances, whatever may happen, then the company will always have an edge, always an edge over the rival companies. So because culture is something which you cannot steal. Yeah, it is inculcated over the years, and once you have learned it, it doesn't require any repetition, enforcement. So culture is very important in an organization. So the first point is corporate culture. Now, every company, they have a founder. So the values and beliefs of the founder, uh, so that continues that continues, and those who and after once those who are the the followers, they uh, carry the values and beliefs of their founder, so that the enterprise continues to maintain high ethical standards. Now, as far as the corporate culture is concerned, Japanese working culture is renowned throughout the world. There is renowned throughout the world. That means that's why Japan has made too much progress in many areas. So just because of their work culture. So corporate culture means the work culture I'm talking of in an organization. Next is the image of the company. The image of the company plays a very significant role, is a very important role at the time of raising finance, at the time of forming tie-ups. That means tie-ups means joint venture. So any strategic alliances, if you want to explore a foreign country where you don't know, but if you have a good image, if people have heard of your company's name, then it would be giving, placing the company definitely will be giving a edge. So corporate image is also a very important internal factor that influence the business enterprise. Next is your human resources. Human resources. Now your human resource is the most important thing. Yeah. So because they are going to convert and the inputs into output. So naturally, some attributes of human resources like dedication, sincerity, loyalty, punctuality, so they are very vital for the success of any enterprise. Now, but at the same time, human resources must be handled with care. They must be given respect. There should be good relationship between among the employer and the employee. There should because there should be a good congenial working environment where there is no problems. This is your point number 3: corporate culture, corporate image, human resources. Now, point 4 is vision, mission, and objective of the enterprise. Now, objective of the enterprise is always important. What the organization want to accomplish. Now, vision and mission, they are very close. They are not the same. Vision and mission, they are not same. Vision means, what the organization want to be in the future. Today the organization is here, what it want to be in the future. Maybe the organization is aiming at the Fortune 500 companies. The organization want to be in that Fortune 500 company list, or Fortune 50. That means the best 50 companies of the world. The company, your company is having a vision to reach or make a entry in that list. So that is the vision. Vision means what the company wants to be in the future. Mission means that means the existence, the reason of existence, why the organization is established, or what is the main purpose. So that is your mission. So objectives, vision, mission. So objective means the immediate, what you want to do. So that means, I say, if you say that I want to pursue PhD course, so if you say that, why not? In that case, that is your vision. But PhD is quite far off. So now you have to give ISC. So your immediate, the objective is to get a good score in your ISC. So that is your objective. Objective means something which is very specific, and then for a short term in nature. So that is objective. And then every organization must be having vision, mission, and objective of the enterprise. So today Reliance, you all have heard of the name, and the founder chairman is Dhirubhai Ambani, and he is a person, whom all should respect. With limited means, he is very inspirational through his act, and he even guides his inspirations. His act provide inspiration to his son and to the company. So that's why vision, because vision, mission, and objectives, they are very important. Objectives actually, if you have the objective in front, so it helps the business enterprise always. That means it guides what it should do, what strategies it should take. So that's why objectives, there should be clear cut objectives of the business enterprise. Next is your management structure, the composition of the corporate board, who is taking care of the company, how much professionalism they are, how good they are in managing. So these also have an impact in the development of the business, development of the business enterprise. It also has an impact on the business decisions. So whether the owner of the company, the shareholding pattern, the owner of the company is holding more share. Now, if he holds more share, he will have more say. So he continuously interferes the business decisions. That is also an important factor. So management structure, the pattern, shareholding pattern, vision, mission, objectives of the enterprise, then human resources, corporate image, corporate culture. These are the main internal factors of a business, main internal factors that influence the business enterprise. So that's all for today. We have done macro environment totally, and then micro environment. Under micro environment we have covered only the internal factors. In the next class I'll continue with the external factors, specific external factors under micro environment. Thank you. Hope you have all understood. And no, the class, it would be it's not that only I'll be teaching, some I'll be giving some questions, so you have to answer those questions. You write it out in copies, and once you join, and that time these copies would be taken and it would be corrected. Thank you all once again. Take care.